Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Driven by MADA podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Platt, and here with me is our latest guest, Patrick Wergin, Vice President of Annapolis Cars and Chairman of the MADA PAC. Patrick, thank you for joining me.
Good afternoon, Ryan. I'm a pleasure to be here and speaking to our Maryland auto retailers. It's we're so fortunate to have MADA. MADA is just a true force that we have that works on our behalf, representing us for the legislators. But one of the most important things that we need to focus on as a dealer body in the state of Maryland is the importance of the PAC, the Maryland Auto Dealers PAC. It is a automotive dealer specific fund that donates money towards the legislators that are friendly to our industry. Over the years, donations have increased significantly, and we're trying to ensure that our PAC is keeping up with all the other PACs that are in the state of Maryland. The monies from these PACs are used to fund the legislators' campaigns on your behalf and that are friendly to our industry.
For the dealers out there that, you know, they want to get involved, they want to make sure that they contribute to PAC and that they know what's happening on the horizon, what can they do?
Well, I think the most important thing is, engagement. For retailers that are not familiar with the pack, it's a great tool that we can use to help legislators understand what we do. It helps them understand, and it helps them when we're in the legislative branch, just trying to see what's the incoming laws in here, so that they can help us understand how some of these laws could be detrimental to our businesses or be challenges to our employees.
So, you're very aware, you're a chairman of PAC. What do you see as the biggest legislative hurdles that auto dealers currently face? And what do you predict to kind of that we're going to have to combat in the future?
I think this was a challenging year for a lot of the stuff that was coming through the legislative branch in relation to the automotive field. I mean, I think the big thing was, the first thing was the carb repeal that happened. I mean, we were the first state in the United States to repeal the carb, which was a big win, which allowed many other states to go and see how this new law was going to be detrimental to us. I mean, that was a big win for us. Obviously, the trade credit that remained. That was something that was on the table this year that was trying to get repealed. And we all know that if that trade credit was repealed, how it would be a challenge to the consumers that we deal with their payments. We did the excise tax, it did go up a 0.5%, but the ask that was on the table earlier was for, I believe it was almost 7%. So we did have to come to a 6.5%, which, you know what? It is a win because of the challenges. What Maryland is in their transportation deficit. They're trying to find money. And of course, obviously, the easy target was to come after the retailers here in the state of Maryland for that option. Some of the challenges that are also facing out there is obviously the regulations that are coming out um, against automotive. MADA does a great job trying to help make sure that these regulations are not detrimental to our operations. Another one that's on the horizon is direct sales. That's a challenge to many other states out there right now. And, MADA's done a great job with, challenging direct sales in the state of Maryland. And that's something that, as all these other Chinese brands are trying to get into the US or other brands are popping up, they try to look at that direct sales model, which could be a big challenge to the automotive field, especially in Maryland. Always OEM and franchise relations. That's critical. It's important that our franchise rights in the state of Maryland are always looked at and guarded. And MADA over the years has done a great job with under educating the legislators on that. Other parts, who owns the data? That's a big battle out there right now. Is who owns the data? Is the OEM, the manufacturer, or or the retailer? Do we own the data on that consumer? Other things that are going to be coming down the road, EVs, we have that. I mean, over the air updates, looking at revenue sharing for over the air updates, because that's going to keep customers' cars from coming into our service operations, where in the past they would come in here for the updates. So there's, a lot. This is just the tip of the iceberg for a lot of the stuff, but these are the important ones. And obviously, in the next couple months, I'm sure there's more that we'll be talking about to ensure the success of the retailers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just seems like automotive is such an easy target when these new budgets and laws are proposed. Everyone's trying to grab money from this industry. And without the influence of PAC, like you're saying, these laws would have been passed and we'd be facing very tough things. Am I correct?
If we didn't have the pack, it would be a challenge. It doesn't, the pack helps us get a voice, gets in front of the legislators, and then gets them to understand our business model. And obviously, we're always an easy target because we generate so much revenue for the state, and they just think it's always a little bit here, a little bit there. It's not going to affect anybody. But I mean, obviously, we see the challenges in the last 2 years with just consumers with affordability with their cars and getting to understand that, consumers wanna buy, but they can't the payments are out of reach right now, so it's important that we have to fight for every area that could hurt a consumer's affordability.
Absolutely. So just like the MADA, PAC has your best interests in mind. And without them, there's no one there to fight that fight. Every year we seem to have something new that's coming after the auto industry. So what for our dealers, who want to help, who want to support PAC on their mission, who want to fund PAC, what can they do? What resources do they have, and how can they go about doing this, Patrick?
It's pretty easy. Obviously, we're asking if they can make a donation through their a corporate check for $6,000, and that's a donation that will cover for 4 years for the pack for their donation for the year for the 4 years. That's the easy one, which is the most important is getting the funding for the pack. So, the other part that is very helpful is being engaged with MADA. It's important that retailers reach out and see what they can do to help MADA. Obviously, we all live in areas where we have legislators that represent their local operations. It's important that if we could have retailers reach out to their local legislators to come into their operations, meet their employees, see all the good that the dealers in the state of Maryland do for their communities, and also educate them on their individual operations. One of the things that was the most astonishing thing that I learned talking to some of these legislators over the years is they really don't understand our model. Many of them still think that we're owned by the manufacturers, Ford, Volvo, Subaru, that the manufacturers own the cars on the lot, that we as retailers don't own those cars. So it's important that they understand our business models, and that when you talk to them, the light bulb goes on. They understand what's going on, especially with the carb. When you really talk to them and understand about what the carb, how that challenges were for the manufacturers and how it could be penalized, it made them understand the business model versus just reading a law that was out there. So it's important that donations are important. That $6,000 of the 4 years is important, and also just some grassroots. Get out and talk to some of your local legislators and have them come out to your operation and meet your teams. Because obviously, when they meet your associates and your teams, they look at them as also that they're voters that could help them be successful going forward.
Yeah, Patrick, that's an incredible point. Um, you know, I will include in the description of this video links so that you guys can go on and you can directly donate to the MADA PAC. Every bit is it counts, and we appreciate it. And as you said, so 6,000 is the cap for the 4-year term.
Yeah.
So that boils down to just a bit over $1,000 a year. And this goes to help PAC do what they do. But it doesn't just stop there. So we do encourage you guys to invite these legislators to your dealerships, bring them in your stores, show them what you do, show them how it works. Education is completely key. That's why we're recording this video right now to educate you guys on what resources are available and how we can help you. Patrick, anything else from the MADA PAC that we need to know?
No, just they do a phenomenal job. I think that it's a secret sauce that has allowed Maryland auto dealers to represent the retailers in the state of Maryland very well and help us navigate the challenges. So, please, take the time to make the donation to help the pack, and also, reach out to your local legislators, get them engaged, let them know who you are, because you know it's still like the car business. I always say it's about relationships, and the more relationships we can have with legislators and they can understand our business, it's going to help all of us be successful and navigate the next challenges that could come. Because we don't know what all the next challenges are going to be, but one thing I know, there will be challenges.
There will be, and we're gonna have to face them, and that's why the MADA PAC exists. Guys, don't hesitate to go in the description, click the links, check it out, learn some more, and make those donations, and invite those legislators into your stores. Patrick, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for explaining to everybody the importance of PAC, and hopefully people take it to heart, and we can get some more support and make sure that the auto dealers' interests are always in mind.
No, I appreciate the time, and if anything, if there's any retailers that have any questions, please reach out to me directly. I'll be more than happy to speak to you and go over some answer any questions you may have, because this is a tremendous tool that allows us to all be successful in the state.
Thank you, Patrick. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan.